Well, hello there folks and fellow tubers, I am Nuclear Skull 7, and in today's video I'm not doing a gameplay video of me actually playing a game, but rather I am recording a video of me watching and reacting to my first ever gameplay video of Serious Sam First Encounter. That was my first ever gaming video that I ever released to the public. Can you not believe it's already been 2 years since I released my first ever gaming video to the public? And we're going to watch it in this video, and in the layover shot of my facing the upper left-hand screen, you're going to see my reaction. And a little announcement before I do that. At some point, I'm going to start up a series of walkthrough videos for Mark of the Ninja again. No, not the remastered version released in 2018. But the very original version released 6 years earlier in 2012. And I'm going to start up a walkthrough for the very original version. Anyhow, before too much further ado, let's turn this thing on. Perhaps better known by my YouTuber name, Nuclear Skull 7, and as you can tell, those old, hey ladies and gentlemen, where you hear my voice talking before the screen even came on. Oh my gosh. I am definitely a much more mature and professional video creator than I was, again, 2 years ago. Okay. First, before I do that, I'm going to hit new game, but then I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the difficulties first. First and foremost, we've got Tourist, which is obviously the easiest. We've got Easy, which is the second easiest. I remember this. Normal, which is just medium level difficulty. Then we got Hard, which is, of course, as its name suggests, hard. But the hardest difficulty of all is Serious, of course, and so that'll be the hardest difficulty. That's especially fitting considering the game is called Serious Sam, specifically Serious Sam First Encounter. And I'm going to go ahead and just select Tourist just because it's the easiest. At the dawn of the 21st century, mankind makes a... I generally prefer not to use that term 21st century because, as I've said in some of my previous videos, I am not the type to blur up decade distinctions, because I like how this century and the last are the first 2 centuries where decades begin to form their own distinct identities. Everything seems perfect, but too perfect to last. In the year 2104, human civilization is attacked by countless deadly monsters spawned from another dimension. In the battles that follow, humankind fights valiantly, but nothing can stop the monsters from coming. Earth's forces are steadily defeated, planet by planet, from Alpha Centauri back to their own solar system. Because of his extreme bravery in battling monsters, Sam Serious Stone becomes a legend. Wounded countless times but never defeated, Serious Sam becomes a living symbol of the Earth's resistance against the advanced and evil. But no matter how bravely the human armies fight, they are defeated time and again. Attempts to defend the solar system fail, and the Earth is now under direct attack. Humankind stares into the face of its own annihilation. World leaders must now turn to their last chance, an ancient artifact called the timelock, a relic from a long-forgotten race imbued with the power to teleport a single person back in time. The choice of whom to send is obvious. That is our player character protagonist, Sirian, Serious Sam Stone. A bit of a slurred speech there. Kind of restless sounding speech, if you ask me.
Welcome to Nitriska. Hello, I am Nitriska, neurotronically implanted combat situation analyzer. I will guide you through your missions to analyze the environments, enemies, and items. When I have a new message for you, press use buttons to evoke me and read it. If you encounter a strange artifact, I will allow you to analyze it by pressing the use button. Now read through your first mission briefing, then select exit to start playing. Good luck.
Those good old days when I did not know how to add a layover shot of my face in my videos. Oh my gosh, that was way before I knew how to do that. But a friend named Logan Guler, who you saw in my video where I was announcing my trip to Chicago quite a few months ago, kind of taught me how to do that, and he figured it out, of course, himself. I think, anyway. Yeah.
Maybe it will help us discover and destroy them.
And it's amazing that I got myself to make this video, because I remember I was going through a bit of an anxiety and even depression phase when I made this video. You may not hear it much in my rather excited and restless sounding voice, but I definitely went through that. And I won't say what it was about because it's private, but I'm just saying it's amazing that I still had the discipline in spite of that to make this video and to continuously, once or twice every week, upload videos that I made, first and foremost. This was even before I knew how to edit my own videos on my own, too. At the time I made this video, it was my mom who edited the videos for me, but now I know how to edit them on my own, of course. But yeah, that was a different time, 2 years ago, 2018. Before I made any gaming videos, I just made pet videos, because it's the only real kind of videos I knew to make, of my cats Eowyn and McGonagall, named after Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter characters respectively. Ready.
I sound more like a Dragon Ball Z character than I do Sirian Sandstone. What the heck?
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't admittedly a very good impersonation, if I might say so myself.
There's different weapon descriptions you'll find in the game, undoubtedly, and yep, we're gonna go up here, except we're gonna go find a little secret here. Notice the cinematic reference to It's Singing in the Rain, the old 1950s movie.
And as a professional YouTuber as I am now, I'm still not able to figure out how to get rid of the thumping noises of the keyboard. And I've not been able to, thanks to COVID, because me and Logan Guler, the guy who helps me with those things, haven't been able to figure out a way to do that because of COVID-19 social distancing measures, of course. And unfortunately, it's still going on.
That has introduced us to a new enemy called the Nar, which I'll let you read for yourselves, of course. And I'm gonna go through here around the time lock, and then I'm gonna travel up this incline, or whatever you call it. And voila.
That very early oddies, when there's still a hint of that colorful, optimistic 90s look left. And 2001, the year this was released on September 11th, the time of the terrorist attacks, that changed the look and feel of not just video games, but also movies. Things became darker and more cynical as a result, for the most part anyway. To me, I always like to think of the 1990s and the 20 oddies, or more commonly known as 2000s, as like the decade version of comparing 17th and 18th century, essentially.
This is the easy difficulty after all, so... Okay, before I grab a new weapon, I want to grab some ammunition for it first, so that I won't be too low on ammo when I use it for the first time. And voila! Here's my first new weapon, the shotgun. Not the best imitations of those enemies, but hey, who cares? And okay.
For a first gaming video, I guess this isn't too bad. Hopefully I don't sound egotistical saying that, but I'm just saying maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was initially.
Which you'll read for yourself. I just want to sort of go through those.
I'm going to shut up a little bit so you can hear the dialogue of the original video itself as well.
Sand Canyon. We've reached the other side of the mountain, and we are very near to the Temple of Thutmose. You have to enter the temple, but be careful. My super hearing detected some screaming from the inside, which is going to introduce us to a new kind of enemy here, stupid simply called the Kamikaze Marine, which I'll read a description to you guys once we're done fighting them here. Here they are. Here's one of them. Now something you'll notice is if you shoot them when they're clustered close together, that will make them explode, and that way you can take them out more in one fell swoop, as they tend to say. And that's easier, quicker means, you could say, of taking them out at once, which is definitely well worth it, no doubt. And let's lure them to a trap here. And I think that was the last one. Let's read the enemy description now. Description. An executed Sirian soldier raised from the dead by mental and remote controlled by life control unit LCU. The head of the kamikaze has been ruined, so he is employed for suicidal attempts. He carries 2 bombs in his hands and activates them when close enough to the target. Tips. Explodes when killed. Okay, now we're going to go straight. And some more enemies to take out before we can proceed through that door over there on the left, where I'm pointing my gun, or I should say specifically my arrow gun. And voila. I love shooting certain enemies up close and personal, especially if you have really powerful weapons. And I'm going to shoot this Sirian soldier here up close and personal. Oh man, he didn't explode to Gibbs. Oh well, who cares? What? He didn't blast to Gibbs? Before I go through that door though, I'm going to grab some armor first. Okay? That will definitely be, I think, a good idea. Sorry for the slur of speech. I've been working at my job site the past 2 days, of which I'm not going to say where, because that could be dumb and dangerous.
Yes, I was also working part-time as a custodian at a place called Blackstone Audio, now called Blackstone Publishing, but I don't work there anymore because me and my dad decided we wanted to just do creative stuff, which is why I don't really work there anymore.
Something is wrong. It is too quiet. Watch out for unpleasant surprises.
And I'm not sad, because, yeah, I hate wage labor. I find it enervating and draining. Makes you not feel like doing anything afterwards.
Not always, but sometimes, depending. The past few times I've played that, it's not done that.
Now there's going to be a movie reference coming up here.
Here comes another cinematic reference. Listen.
Hear that Indiana Jones
reference, specifically to Raiders of the Lost Ark, because of the scene where Indy's chased by the boulder and whatnot. And I'm not going to go into too much detail. That should describe it right there. Anyhow, let's proceed now. Let's take out this dude right here, as they sometimes say in the South. Take out another kamikaze marine and another one. And there'll be rooms like this where you won't be able to proceed through the door until you've killed all the enemies. And of course that's only natural. And we've got a new type of enemy here called the marsh hopper. And I'm going to use my twin revolvers, of course, to take them out. And whatnot. I don't know why I like to say and whatnot a lot, but that's just me.
Interesting, the thumping noise with the keyboard's not always bad as I tend to think it is sometimes.
A strange organism originating from marsh.
Guess this bit there.
They live in large groups and have a suicidal instinct for protecting their territory. In all devastating havoc, all individuals try to leap at the intruder and explode by overinflating themselves. Upon exploding, toxic slime contained in their intestines splashes the target. Tips. One of these alone is not dangerous, but a swarm is deadly. Destroy at range.
A little like the Trites from Doom 3 in that regard.
Temple of Thutmose. No element. It seems that those ugly monsters have been here before us. They moved the element and prepared a trap. You handled the situation nicely. It cannot be very far. There is a small tomb placed in the nearby canyon. Maybe they moved the element there. Exit the temple and proceed towards the end of the canyon. There you should find an entrance to a small tomb. Okay, so we're going to go through this door. Move in. Grab a shotgun so I can take out these guys more quickly. We're going to go up this steep kind of stairway or incline. Now something you'll notice is the female Nars are green and that they're larger and stronger than the purple Nars. That's something they say in the enemy profile, which you'll read, of course. And we're in the new area. Temple of Thutmose, exit. It is nice to see the sunlight again. Carry on to the end of the canyon and enter the small tomb. So as Natriska is saying, we need to enter a new tomb at the opposite end of this canyon, as she says. But we've got to, of course, take out some enemies before we can do just that. Just shooting it there so I don't have to reload my revolvers in a future gunfight. Watch what this boulder will here do. Yes, it comes down just like the other one before it, where Sam makes the Indiana Jones reference. Okay, let's proceed further through the canyon.
And to be honest, I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan than I am Indiana Jones. I don't dislike Lucasfilm in general. It's just Indiana Jones I'm not overly fond of in particular, and that's because I'm just not really in to that 30s, 40s kind of pulp adventure sort of style. And there's again where I'm saying the name of the decades from the last century, but not 20th century itself, because again, I'm not the type to blur up decade distinctions. Those old enemy descriptions I made and said.
Blasted him to gives. And more biomechanical, just mechanical enemy here.
Oh, I just suddenly remembered I had a much more junky and older computer than I do now, which was a lot more finicky and had a tendency to crash. I have a new one that's pretty much never crashed since then.
Extra protection for you for when you do play this game. That's when you get it. And there's a little interesting Easter egg that happens if you go up on the top of the temple.
Thumping quickly.
Yes, Nars attacks you here. G-N-A-A-R-S. That's how you spell their names. And okay, we're gonna...
Oh my gosh. Those really awful, hey ladies and gentlemen, introductions. I far prefer the intros to my videos now.
There we are.
This is the end of a portion of a level,
at
least.
I'm going to go ahead and not show much in the way of cinematic sequences in this game. Not that that's really huge, but...
I guess I still gotta do that sometimes, but hey, doesn't matter.
If you show all of the cinematic sequences in game walkthrough videos of yours with commentary, that could be considered the equivalent of uploading an entire movie to YouTube. So that could be considered copyright infringement. That is definitely something to keep aware of, and that if you avoid that, you'll decrease the chances of getting a copyright strike on your channel.
I guess it doesn't cause a copyright strike, but maybe you can't monetize some of the videos.
Explicitly asked legal permission from developer, Devolver Digital, permission to...
I guess they're the owner. Their Crow Team is the developer, but that's one of those weird mistakes I'm making some of these older gaming videos of mine.
Okay, let's see what Natriska has to say next.
And there's that old copyright notice that lets YouTube know in the video description that Devolver Digital, the company that owns the copyright to these games, gave me permission to upload and monetize gameplay footage of these games themselves. A dark and spooky tomb. Now that I think about it, it's kind of surprising that there's no mummies on any of these Egyptian-themed levels, especially in the darker tomb-like ones. Exactly. And,
surprised that didn't give him altogether. Nope, unfortunately it doesn't look like I can reach up there. Okay, now, I like how kind of dark and atmospheric this looks. That's why I love it, though. I'm kind of surprised when I stop and think about it that this game here doesn't have any Egyptian mummies as enemies, which is a little bit dumbfounding if you ask me, but hey, it is what it is. Because I know some horror FPS games, sometimes I've seen in the past, have enemies in more Egyptian-themed levels. But, oh, it doesn't...
I made that observation a couple minutes ago that, or moments ago, that it's surprising that there isn't any Egyptian mummies as enemies in this specific level. Which I would have done that myself if I were making this game, of course. But hey, I guess that was Crow Team's choice.
Alright, where are you, buddy?
And when it comes to video games, movies, and comic books, I way prefer the 90s to the oddies, or more commonly called the 2000s, but I prefer to call it the oddies because it's an extension of the word aught, which is Old English for zero.
As you can see here, I'm going up that stairs, but I, of course, like I said, got to take out those enemies first, or we're going to be greeted with a new set of enemies. You can notice the very Doom-style frenetic action in this game, which is what you're going to play. There isn't too much in the way of puzzles in this game, but I'll get you through them. In the next game that I'm going to do a walkthrough of, Sirian Second Encounter, there will definitely be a little more of those. And I won't say what that game looks like until you see this gameplay video, of course, of that. Gameplay videos of it, I should say. And boom, shakalaka. Boom, shakalaka. Boom, shakalaka. Boom.
Obviously, that's the last of them there. Why didn't I think to grab that set of shotgun shells? It's a little weird considering I'm the type to do that, as you've seen in all of my other gaming videos after this one. I do love the Egyptian level in this game. Again, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm just not a big Indiana Jones fan. Because I like more that space opera, sci-fi fantasy feel versus that 30s, 40s pulp feel.
With ammo repletioner in one hand. Exoskeleton covers entire Arachnoid's body and provides good protection against bullets, explosives, and fire. Tips: dangerous stage. Do not approach too closely. Will shoot through their own ranks in fury.
As you'll notice in some of my later videos, my voice is tougher, deeper, and more authoritative, I think, in some ways than they ever were in some of these old Serious Sam gaming videos. But hey, that's probably more just a source of amusement for you guys watching this video. And I'm going to shut up a little bit so you can hear some of my old commentary in this video with my not-so-authoritative voice.
Okay, that's how we're supposed to go. Dead end. This is where we're supposed to go through.
Another thing I'm going to quickly mention, though, is I was living in a very different home from the one you see me in the layover shot. I won't say where it is because it's dangerous, of course, as in what street it's on, nor where I was living on in this video, so I don't put the current occupants of that house at risk either. But yes, I was living in a very different home from this one than I was now.
Now, because it has a dangerous stain, you want to shoot...
I mean, maybe my voice doesn't sound that different now than it does back then, but hey.
Because their dangerous stain can definitely hurt you. That is at least, especially if you're playing on like a harder difficulty and whatnot. And okay. Die, boy. Boy, I'll shoot you with my old West revolvers. Oh, I will, boy. Okay, where's that other enemy attacking? There you are. Okay. Now in this area, you're going to grab a secret health. At least that's what I thought. There's a way to get some secret areas, but oh well, you can discover for yourself once you actually play the game, that is. Okay, now we're going to go here.
Didn't grab the shotgun shells again.
Yes.
Again, if they added mummies, and if Crow Team added mummies in this game, that would have been added an interesting classic horror element, I think. But hey, it is what it is, as I said before.
I sound more like Chewbacca than I do any of these monsters.
Another little Star Wars reference there. Star Wars.
Okay, head up this fleet of stairs. Oh, we've got a kamikaze marine. Oh, he helped me, ironically and unintentionally, take out one of the other Sirian soldiers. Yep. Want to take him out first so I wouldn't need to worry about him later. There's a way to get up there, I'm not sure. Notice the red mega armor there. That's where you could get armor. I'm not going to bother going up there because yeah, it's going to take too much time, I think, figuring it out. Besides, you'll figure it out yourself at some point. How to get up there. Okay.
Part of it, I think it is the thumping noises are a little worse at the room I had at that house where I recorded this video than where I'm currently living right now, as you can see in the layover shot with the two American flags in the background. But yeah, I think the thumping noises were greater there because of the way the room was built and structured. This room tends to absorb sound more, so sound can't get out of it more easily, so I think that's why the thumping videos in my videos these days, since I've been living in this household, don't make as much of the thumping noise, even if they still do somewhat. Hopefully my voice isn't as high and annoying as it was in this video. Maybe it is, and I'm just not willing to admit it, but hey, it is what it is.
Back to where I was earlier, so, yep. Here, see if there's anything up here new and interesting, I believe there is. And we are in a new room, albeit a very, very large room.
That is a huge room.
In case of ancient Egyptian arms. Maybe this game is exaggerating it, but I think there's some degree of truth to it. Okay, like any other room we've been through before, we're going to have to kill all the enemies in this room if we're going to be able to proceed. And up there is a new weapon, a double-barrel 12-gauge shotgun, kind of like this, but double-barrel plus even more powerful. You can take out enemies much more quickly and much more easily. Alright, let's go ahead and grab it now. Is history. Yeah,
I still say that in my videos every now and then. It is kind of funny. But man, I am so glad I don't do those old, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen," and you'll hear me say that again at the end of the video. Obviously, saying the end of the video as opposed to the beginning, but still that kind of, well, ladies and gentlemen, and not that it was bad or terrible, but I am glad I both start and end my videos a little differently now than I did back then. I guess it just seems kind of like hesitant and sort of restless sounding is the best words I could think of.
You'll notice I'll have a pause in commentary. That's just because I'm concentrating on taking out the enemies, like sort of a video game equivalent of, say, if you're driving on a dodgy road and you have to concentrate on getting there without talking to any of the passengers. All right. Anyhow,
I'm currently working on getting a driver's license myself and have been since May of 2018. In fact, I read the Oregon DMV each night before I hit the hay. I guess part of it was COVID hit, so I wasn't able to get my even just learner's permit as early as I could.
Except I'll use the double barrel shotgun to take out the clear there, and let's then use the old West revolver to take out some of these marsh hoppers, as they're called.
Again, the good old days before I even know how to add a layover shot of my face.
Done with this area of the game.
I remember that feeling of being ready to end this level. Definitely, it still happens every now and then, depending.
Sadly, that's not the last of those enemies. As you can tell up there, we've got a new type of arachnoid, of which I'll read in the description after I'm done killing it. Okay, a holy warrior from a primitive race evolved from anthropons. Extremely hostile due to their religious convictions, carries a chain gun with ammo replenisher in one hand. Exoskeleton covers entire arachnoid's body, provides good protection against bullets, explosives, and fire. Tips: dangerous sting. Do not approach too closely. They'll shoot through their own ranks in fury. See the weapon description. Standard double-barreled 12-gauge shotgun, efficient for short-range elimination of medium-sized enemies, but scatters the pellets too much to be used for long-range shooting. Notes: slow due to completely manual reloading, inefficient at long range. We can now proceed here. And that'll be it. Alright. You've got your first element here, I believe. Awesome. Valley of the Kings. You've just collected the second element. There are 2 more to go. The next destination is the Chambers of Horus. Proceed through the Valley of the Kings, and at the end you will find an entrance. I sense massive turbulences in the air. Hurry, we should reach our objective before the dark. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
there goes that.
Be the end of part 1 for my Serious Sam First Encounter gaming walkthrough. If you like this video, please, or if you want to, go ahead and hit the like button below. And if you want to see more of my gameplay videos, including Serious Sam First Encounter among other games, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see all of you next week. Alright, see you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye, God bless you, and the rest of humanity. Amen.
Boy, what a soft video, what a soft voice I had back then. My voice sounds definitely a little stronger and more, I guess, authoritative than it ever did back then. We'll do a watch through of this some other time. And notice this old legal notice, as I mentioned in the video earlier, that tells YouTube Devolver Digital, the copyright owner of this game, has given legal permission to Luke the Nuke, Nuclear Skull, to publish and monetize this Serious Sam content. And for any future gaming YouTubers who wants to make a walkthrough for Serious Sam, there is a part of their official website, Devolver Digital's, that lets you ask them permission to upload content of their videos. Not that you would have to, but I would recommend you do that, at least if you're going to do walkthroughs of Devolver Digital titles like Carrion, Serious Sam. Oh, and just while I'm thinking about it, I am also going to start up a series of walkthrough videos for Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass. Just as a thought that'd be a fun little announcement, since this is a video of me watching an old Serious Sam First Encounter gaming video. And, well, I believe that will end this video here, folks. More to come of me watching these old videos to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of my first ever gaming video. Remember, if you like this video, please hit that like button below. And if you want to see more of my videos, please select that subscribe button below. And I shall see you all later, folks. Till next time, though, my name is Nuclear Skull 87. Remember to keep yourself safe, happy, and healthy in this period of pandemic as well as protest. Amen.